Ah. Oh, we are streaming? Okay, good. Already doing it. Already doing it. What is this?
It's a quartering video, and it's called "Women Finally Get It," and it's too late. But I want you to see the thumbnail.
Oh, it's Actual Jake. Oh, I know who Actual Jake is. I don't hate the guy, but like, oh, hey, blonde artist, Strangelove, what's up? Well, let's see. This guy's hating on the quartering, and I feel like getting into some hating. So, yo, let's just do this. It's only about a half hour.
Why women deserve less? Did his wife leave him? What's going on, man? You okay? How long before he mentions his coffee? Ooh, all right, let's take bets.
All right, well, we're just starting slow, so I'm just gonna say that I saw the what do you call it? The climax, the season finale. That's it, the finale, the season finale of Ironheart. And I'm like, oh man, Marvel chuds are gonna get pissed. Comic chuds are gonna be pissed. Because some shit happens in that they have been wanting to happen for a long time, but it happened in Ironheart.
What do you think? It's a 12-minute video. I think over under 4 minutes is the bet.
If you're a girly who's living right now in your own little apartment, can afford your own bills, can pay your own
Hey,
rent,
son,
you don't rely
Jack.
on your family, you don't rely on a man in your life to financially provide for you.
Man, the problem is I also hate these videos. Alligator Auschwitz flooded today after regular ass rain. Are you serious? Are you serious? Hold on.
Well, this evening, questions over the operation at the site dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. There are already concerns about flooding following 2 days of consistent rain.
NBC6 politics reporter Hansel Vella has been at the site and joins us from the Everglades with the latest.
Transportation workers digging holes across the main entrance. They say a sign is going up calling this detention facility Alligator Alcatraz. During and since the president's visit, as expected in summer months, those afternoon thunderstorms easily create flooding, and in swampy areas like this one, plenty of mud. Already reports of flooding inside the facility, despite what the head of Florida's emergency management said yesterday.
It is a fully aluminum frame structure rated for winds of 110 miles an hour or a high-end Category 2.
Today, a spokesperson for the Florida's emergency management told us vendors went back and tightened any seams at the base of the structures that allowed water intrusion during the heavy storm, which they say was minimal. The state says the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport will have the capacity to house 3,000 people. It'll be staffed by about 1,000 folks. And while the state hasn't said who will be staffing it, we did get a hint at Tuesday's roundtable.
200 men and women, soldiers and airmen underneath Major General John Haas's command.
Last week, a spokesperson for the Florida National Guard told NBC6 they would have soldiers at the facility starting July 1st, who would be helping with site security and would be here as long as necessary. Impact from this, of course, on the surrounding wetlands, still a concern for many.
The partnership with the state has been great.
Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons tells us the goal is to keep detainees here no longer than 2 weeks, where they can appear before a judge and be deported from the camp's existing.
We're gonna deport so much deporting. You're gonna deport so much deporting. Gonna deport so much deporting. Fuck that. I'm already done. Fuck that. Fuck this Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, that shit ain't getting up anytime soon, kids. Oh, my God, so much deporting. I'm going on a third term, Trump 2028. And maybe he'll get it. Maybe they'll fucking break the rules and just be like, nah, we just got a dictator now. Dictator for life. I like the ring of that, Dictator Trump. Blah, 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 blah. I can't believe he's president again. That. And I'm just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, well, that's how they want you to feel. Well, it's working. It's working. They want you to feel frustrated and disenfranchised. Well, it's working. Oh, they're all evil. They're all evil and stupid. You know, it's I don't know. I'm just kind of starting to resolve myself to the idea that I might die in a United States detention center. You know, just for something. You know, either that or get killed for no reason. I mean, you know. Finally coming out with uncensored tops of E! Night of the Living Dead. Ooh, I didn't know that. That sounds cool. Let's go back to hopefully dunking on the quartering.
Breaking generational trauma. I can literally say it started with me.
Much, much, much later.
They call her the cat lady. People say she's
We're stealing The Simpsons?
crazy just because she has a few dozen cats. But can anyone who loves animals that much really be crazy?
Does she have a bunch of cats now?
I love that clip. I think that joke is fucking bullshit. The joke that the quartering makes is fucking bullshit, but I still love that clip. You know? Because that would be me as the old cat lady, just throwing cats at people. Throwing cats at people and say, take this. I actually fucking left a voice message to like John and Yogi the other day, which was just me going, because I've been doing that lately. I have been going fuck crazy You know, because of the the big nightmare, the big beautiful bill, the big beautiful bill. Oh, I have a big beautiful bill. You know, I wish I was clever enough to make more clever jokes about this whole fascism thing, but really, honestly, yeah, I'll let you conservatives in on a little something. Yeah, it triggers me. Yeah, fascism triggers me. It does. It ain't fun. It ain't fun. I don't enjoy it. I know you do. I know you do enjoy it. You know, it's manna from heaven from you to you people. You know. Oh, sorry. I thought I heard a dog. I was like, I didn't think the dog was in here. Like, okay. Any advice for diabetic who's on SSI? How diabetic are you? Like, if you're on metformin, you're probably better off than if you're on insulin. In fact, you are better off than if you were on insulin. But as far as but if you're on insulin, I don't know because I'm not on insulin. I'm only on metformin. I'm only on pills. Man, although I'll tell you, I am looking a little puffy. You know, I can't tell if I'm getting puffy or I'm just looking old. Mm. 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 You're on insulin? Ooh, I don't know. That's more serious than I have it. Let's go back to dunking on the quartering.
First, I was literally the first woman in my entire female lineage to live alone.
Leave a like on this video if you think women deserve less. Here's a post.
What? Okay. In 40 seconds, have you decided that women deserve less? Wow. Hey, if you're an incel, I can save you. You don't have to be an incel like Jeremy, whose background is becoming more and more sparse. Did his wife leave him? For real, though, did his wife leave him? Is she like, wow, you sent us into financial ruin? It's much healthier to hang out in the basement and piss in the corner. Absolutely. Gift 5 subs if you believe Jeremy deserves what he's getting.
Post that was in response to a Wall Street Journal article that reported American women have never been this resigned to staying single. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by the growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women.
I think part of that is fair. You know, if you... Because one of the things that we don't really, that really doesn't enter any of these discussions about relationships anymore is love. You ever notice that? Wait, your test strips are $200? How many? What? How are your test strips $200? Hold on. That doesn't sound right to me. Do you need special test strips or something? Mine are like 30 for 300. I get like 300 test strips for like $40. Like, are they? I believe so. They have a blood reader. When I was kind of low, I needed to get an emergency package. I said it would cost $200. Is it one of those permanent ones, or the ones that last like 2 weeks? Because yeah, those are more expensive. You might want to get a second. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm only type 2. No, it's the one you carry in a bag. Was it like, okay, when you say it's an emergency pack, is it like emergency insulin and all that shit? You know, because I got a reader and like, all the lancets and test strips I need for like well under $200. You know, and I do have the kind of, I mean, I do have some pretty good health insurance. You know, as far as that stuff is concerned, they won't pay. Unfortunately, they won't pay for the little disc that you like strap onto your arm that gives you a constant measurement. I had one of those for a week because a friend had an extra. It was awesome. Guess who slept for 12 hours? I'm assuming you. A Libre glucose monitor? Let me see what that is. Do. Wait, what? Hold on. Libre glucose monitor, designed for iPhone device or later, US only. That's like $50. Well, that's way fucking cheaper than it was like 2 years ago. $50, huh? Damn. Neat. Excuse me. Hey. Okay, I think I'm good. You low on test strips and need to get a refill? Yeah, test strips are like, you get like 100 of them for like $30 on, like $40 on Amazon. Oh, I'm sorry. You get like 300 of them for like fucking $40. I mean, depending on which like glucose monitor you have, I think. Like I have an Ovon. You know, one of the ones where you like, you pull back the thing, you stick it on your finger, and all that jazz. Yeah, the continuous monitors are expensive, but they're a lot less expensive than they used to be, apparently. Yeah, how many do you get for $80? One Touch Ultra? Okay, hold on. $120. Jesus. One Touch Ultra. I see 60 here for 30. Now you got me wondering about my sugar close, my glucose. I'm gonna check. I want to think about switching to an Ovon if you can. Come in a box like this. Oh. All right. Blood sugar went down the last hour. That's good. Then again, that's diabetes for you. Unless you can find $8. Yeah, that will give you 120 of them. The 60 count is about 30. They look like they're the same thing. They might be. Oh, God damn it. One Touch Ultra compatible. True Point. Huh. Jeez. Yeah, I pay for mine out of pocket because the my glucose meter was pretty cheap. No, I don't need the muscle stimulator. I need the Yeah, I got my I got my thing for like 30 bucks. And the Lancets are only 7 for 300. And the little test strips are 40 for 300. Might consider switching. Because that's... I don't know why it's that expensive. You're in New Jersey. It shouldn't count. It shouldn't matter that much. It's not like I'm not going through insurance or anything. Like, look up Alvon, AUVON, and look for the blood glucose monitor kit. You know, it's the one that, it's the one I use. It's the one John uses. Now, we have type 2, not type 1. So maybe there's a reason, but like, do you have to use it for anything other than like just monitoring your basic blood sugar? Is there some sort of like extra information that you need? Because this sounds like it's just going to cost more than it should. All right, put that out. Oh, there we go. Should be ready to do that again. Again, my entire insurance pays for the whole thing. Oh, okay. So you just have to worry about the strips? Yeah, if you just have, I mean, I have no idea how this is gonna, we have no idea how any of this is gonna get affected. You know, we know it's gonna be bad, but we don't know bad and how it's gonna be. Blood sugar's doing all right. Focus type 1 off the continuous modern auto injector. Oof. Damn. Yeah, I just have to like monitor it twice a day. I often do it. Oh, you're worried that the nightmare bill, you could lose coverage. Okay. Best thing you can do if you live in a conservative county is to find out who your reps are. And if they're Republicans, work against them. Call and complain. It might not do anything, but enough people call and complain. The thing about this, but think about it is this. If enough people call and complain, they will listen. I don't know what they'll do, but it does start to put the fear of God in them. One of the things is that I usually one of the problems of living in California is most of your federal reps are going to be Democrats. You know, I don't have any Republicans representing my district. You know, I've got what's his nuts. I don't get me wrong. I have assholes, but like they're Democrat assholes. You're 109 right now. Oh, that's good. 109 is really good. That's like actually kind of ideal. Let's get back to the hate fest. Get back to hating the quartering with actual Jake.
Now, that is just flat out incorrect for most people.
No, okay. We got to go back a little bit so I can bitch about that.
Sex between men and women. Now, that was in response to a Wall Street Journal article that reported American women have never been this resigned to staying single. The challenges of finding a romantic partner have been made more complicated by the growing divide in education and career prospects between men and women. Now, that is just flat out incorrect.
No, that's not incorrect. Education level actually does have a lot to do with dating. It's not the only thing that it has to do with, You know, I wouldn't even say that it's the biggest, but it is noticeable. You know, it's noticeable. Like, smart women tend to like smarter guys. You know, the himbo notwithstanding, you know, people who like himbos notwithstanding, they tend to like smarter guys. And even in their himbos, they prefer them to be, the fantasy is that they are actually gentle. They don't have to be the smartest, but as long as they are loving and gentle, like that's what they're looking for. Big, loving, and gentle. Intelligence doesn't really matter unless they're like a Trump supporter or something. That divide's really real. That one's really real. Like, conservatives are super unpopular in the dating scene. Super unpopular.
For most people. However, why do you think that is? Because third wave feminism prioritized putting women in college.
Why does he sound so fucking weird? Did someone punch him in the teeth? Why is he got a whistle? He's got like a lisp. Is he in the basement again?
I think he's always had it. That guy's always had a lisp, Jake.
Is it just a bad mic?
Over men. So there's a significantly higher percentage of women in college than men. Therefore, those women are generally getting better jobs than men and creating this income disparity.
Yeah, that's how that works, dude.
What? You're upset that women are successful?
That is third wave feminism.
No. God damn it. We still on this? We still fucking on this? We're still fucking on this. Like, I'm so mad that the definition of third wave feminism fucking got changed. It got changed by the internet. And I'm so pissed. Third wave used to be sex positive. That's the shit that was being done and practiced when I was growing up. When I was like in my 20s. That was third wave. Because second wave was all focused on women's careers. It was anti-sex. It had the biggest anti-sex advocate that it could ever have in a woman called Andrea Dworkin. And the wave of feminists that came after that were very, 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 very much against those aspects of the previous wave of feminism. Therefore, it was third wave. Then this thing happened. Which was all of the gender studies professors from second wave. And bear in mind, these are people who taught gender studies classes where men were not allowed to attend. Okay? Like, if you wanted to do gender studies and you were a man, in most places you were not welcome. And not just not welcome, you were not allowed. You know, and that era is like the 70s and 80s. You know, by the 90s, that changed. In the middle of the 90s, that changed. But all the older feminists who were definitely second wave got tenure. And so they pushed more of second wave now that they had, you know, academic power. So the thing that everyone is calling third wave is technically reactionary. It's actually a reaction to third wave. But the internet changed the definition on us and fucking fucked everything up. Fucked all the definitions up. You know, and the idiots like this perpetuate that problem. But of course, his problem isn't going to really be with third wave feminism. It's just going to be with women in general. It's going to be with women's equality in general. Because the only people who really make any sort of important critique of second wave feminism comes from people who understand that third wave feminism is that the type that feminism this guy's talking about is a reaction to the third wave that already happened.
Wave feminism also told these women,
dude, it's also like part of that whole like erasure of Gen X.
He's definitely got something wrong with his teeth. What's happening? He sounds crazy. This man is borderline illiterate and always slurring drunk. Is he drunk right now?
and that they should be promiscuous. That men would.
That they should be promiscuous. Okay, that. I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do that. Because when people are criticizing, oh, the promiscuousness of like feminism, that is third wave. That is third wave. That is a reaction to third wave. Yeah, and let's be fair. Let's be totally honest. When we're talking about the kind of feminism that gets written about in like newspapers and shit, we're talking about white women. We're not talking about anybody else. We're talking about white women, and that's it. We're talking about white women's problems. We're not talking about anyone else's fucking problems. Like, y'all. To anyone who has seen the Handmaid's Tale show, that show's criticism of white feminism is typified in the character of Serena Joy. There is a reason why whenever she is having an argument among women, it's her, one white woman, versus a crowd of women who are every ethnicity. And that's not just a creation of the show. The author, Margaret Atwood, absolutely understood that the feminism that focused solely or almost exclusively upon white women was the tool of fascism. She absolutely understood that. She absolutely 100% understood that.
Didn't care about high body counts. And now
high body counts? Who gives a fuck? If I get to have sex, why don't women get to have sex too? That's who I'm trying to have sex with. I just don't understand this mindset. I've never understood it. If having sex is fun and good, and we all agree, right? Then why? And men are the ones trying to have it, and they're like, "Yeah, bro, let's fuck. We have to fuck to become men." So, like, who are you doing?
Because their leaders aren't fuckable. If the leaders of the fucking, like, Manosphere movement were fuckable, they wouldn't have time to be fucking leaders of the Manosphere movement. You'd just be like, oh, I mean, yeah. You'd be like, sex is fine. Sex is awesome. Awesome.
Doing that with? Did you all think you were gonna have?
Yeah, They would tell her she looked like a sex object for the patriarchy. That she, let me guess, like I don't know if they had the words at that time, but like another way of saying that is self-objectification. And I'm like, well, if a person is self-objectifying, then that's their choice, and therefore we back off. Easy, we back off. At that point, we're not talking. At that point, we're casting aspersions on people's character based on their sexual activity, which is horseshit. Well, maybe it's not exactly horseshit. Apparently, no. They're decent people who don't get laid. They're decent people who don't get laid. You know, they're decent guys and girls who don't get laid, who are like, you know, perfectly fine people, perfectly good people. You know. Yeah, 80s and early 90s. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's about right. That's when that shit was really going around.
Sex with multiple people, but they were gonna all be virgins?
I mean, like,
the math just doesn't make sense. And also, can we talk about how pedophilic it is to want and desire virgins? That's fucking weird. That lives in two places and two places alone, and it's probably both at the same time. Pedophilia and similar vibes where you're looking for some kind of sexual purity and a small little person, usually, you know, ooh, just barely 18 and fertile type language that these guys use. And two, insecurity, because you're worried that you're going to be not good relative to the other sexual partners that the people are having. How about, personally, the way I've always gone about it is just be good. Just be good to be around.
Well, like, another thing that helps is learn how to be appropriately romantic. You know, the kind of thing where it's like, flowers and gifts are great, but not on the first date. It sets up an expectation that you may not realize that you're setting. You know, just like paying for dinner, paying for dinner is one thing, like that's different, especially depending on where you go. Like, I never wanted to date a girl who needed to go to an expensive restaurant. No, we're going to go somewhere fun. We're going to go somewhere fun or easy to get to. I don't mind going, I mean, like, not like, definitely better than like Mickey D's or something, but like, Mexican restaurant, something like that. Never underestimate the power of P.F. Chang's. Although I don't know how cheap I would call that. That's like, I'm sure Cheesecake Factory or Applebee's will do. If that will not do, then it's like you're looking at something other than you're looking for something that isn't a relationship. Yeah, a good pizza joint or a barcade, like something fun. Like, I'll be honest, like, if a girl if a girl doesn't enjoy a particular barcade, that's fine. But if you're just like totally against the idea, then it's like, I get not tonight, but I don't get not all. I would go over top. I would go better than Taco Bell. Little Caesars on the hood of a car at a park. Ooh, see, that's not bad. Because the food is cheap, but you're making more of an occasion of it. See, that's good.
Be a good time. It's worked out for me just fucking fine. I don't know what, like, this is sad shit. Also, I'm starting to, did he add another time slot? Is he now uploading a 5th video, or has he always done this? This seems longer than it was last time.
Instead of understanding that they've done this to themselves, they're saying, well, it's the men that aren't making enough money. It's the men. It's their fault.
Well, why are you going after women who fucking think like that, man?
It is the men's fault that they are not getting partners. Correct.
That will complete the cycle for these people who are in their 30s, mid-30s that have never known love. They are now locking into a life.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, no. Wrong. What if you can cook Mexican food? Okay. Maybe. Because it's not the quality of the food. It's that dinner at your place might be a little... You want to go somewhere reasonably public. Dinner at your place is a good, like, 3rd date. Or 2nd date if it went really well. And she just wakes up at your place the next morning. But, like, I wouldn't do that for a 1st date. That takes too much planning. It puts her in a position where she's like, well, now I'm at his house. Like, how safe am I going to be at his house? Yeah, I wouldn't recommend attempting to cook for the date until, like, you've gone somewhere else in public first. Or she suggests it, the problem isn't the cooking for. If you can cook, that's points. That's points in your favor. You just don't want to necessarily, like, take a date to a situation where they might feel the balance of power shift. And if it's at your place, then the balance of power is in your favor, Yeah, and it does feel a little early for that, That's like I said, that's like solid 3rd date option. I've never been to a restaurant where you pay in advance. I didn't even know such places existed. Hey, thanks, Johnny. Yeah, I didn't know such places existed, but like, I would always assume you're paying. Does fast food count? Don't. I wouldn't do fast food. I wouldn't do fast food. Like, it's a date. You want to go one step up. You don't like. Even a girl who is who is fine with cheaper food will be like, I don't want to just, unless it's like a lunch date or something, like, which I don't know if we have those anymore. Where it's just like, yeah, we'll meet up at our lunch hour, we'll meet up at the whatever, or talk for a bit, you know. But that's like kind of a different thing anyway. I would like I said, think like Mexican restaurant, Applebee's, or some equivalent. You know, it doesn't even need to be like a restaurant that has like its own building, depending on where you live. You know, back in the days when malls were really active, the food court was always an option, even though that was mainly fast food. Like, that always somehow worked. That's more of a teenage thing. That was more of a teenage thing. Once you get into like your 20s or something, you want to be doing like an Applebee's or a Red Robin or something like that. You know, something on the cheaper end, but is still like Chinese restaurant always works. You know, Chinese place always works.
Time of spinsterdom, and it's
spinsterdom. Who the fuck says spinster? To me, a spinster is like, I don't even think of people as spinsters at this point, unless they're a real cunt. You know, I think we've replaced the idea of the spinster with the Karen, and the Karen is like, may or may not be married.
Some point in their 40s and their 50s, they're going to realize it. And you're going to see, I believe, in this
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. He's like, women in the 30s and 40s. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, women in their 30s and 40s are perfectly fine for dating because they are because that is the prime age where they get divorced. That's the prime age where they start getting divorced. Spinsterdom. It's basically an unmarried woman. Not just saying that because I'm Chinese. No, I'm saying that because Chinese food always works, unless it's really bad. You know, but as long as it is acceptable Chinese food, that's always appropriate. Everyone loves Chinese food. Well, once again, that's the movie theater thing. That is a maybe. Because if the girl's really into movies, then that's a perfect first date. Like, I went to art school in college, so, like, movies were usually okay.
next generation's children a return to the traditional relationship. Men and women.
No, it's not a return to the traditional relationship. What are you talking about, you dumbass?
Getting married earlier.
Look, I'm a scrub, okay? I'm kind of a scrub. The Countess knew she was not marrying a man with money. I proposed with a ring I got out of a gumball machine because that's all I could find that I could afford. Because I was a broke motherfucker. I'm still a broke motherfucker, just a little less broke. I never expected her to quit her job. I'd like it if she was able to. Don't get me wrong. You know? But no, this whole idea is like, we'll go back to the tradition. No. 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 What are you talking about? You know that doesn't work. That's why they're trying to force it. It's why you have to force and enforce it.
A society.
I disagree that they're going to get married earlier. They do not have the resources to get married. What the fuck are you talking about? They are genuinely not going to be doing that. They don't have enough money. They don't have the money to have kids. They're not going to have the health care access. You're not going to see that until we have a left-wing society. If we had a left-wing society, I'm not joking, you would see people get married younger. But it, like...
Look, here's the thing. I don't think getting married younger is good. Is a good necessarily a good idea. The only reason actually, there's no reason to do it. You know, allow me to be a smartass for a minute. If a woman wants to get pregnant, she's got options. That's one of the reasons they're trying to take the social safety net away. So the women don't got options. Oh, Delta Oracle. See, that's a tricky one. Love doesn't mean conquer. No, it doesn't. But you want to give yourself a little bit of that. A little bit of that. You know? Ha-ha! I have succeeded. You know? Give yourself a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of that. Not too much. Just a little. It's like salt. You don't want to use too much salt. But you want to use a little of it. You know? Yeah, the fascination with marrying young a lot of it comes down to control. You would think that it would come down to attraction. You know, younger people tend to look better. You know, you would think it would be that, but no, it's all about control. Like a person for whom it is largely about attraction is going to be attracted to a young-looking person of their own age. It's only considered conquer if you're into BDSM. Ooh, that's a good comeback. That's a good one. Doctor looks as soon as we have Elon Musk who's interested. Most women got options if they really wanted, I'm not saying it's the best way to go about it. In fact, it is probably the worst, just to deliberately get pregnant, without telling anyone. That probably is the worst. I don't recommend it. But the reason people in America aren't having children is a couple of things. One, the pressure isn't there because despite everything going wrong, we do right now we can feed everyone and there is enough stuff. I don't know how long that's going to last. So the birth rate's not dropping because of lack of resources. It just isn't. What's going on is that birth itself is expensive in America. $10,000 to have your kid born in a hospital. Hey, everyone in Canada, what are you charged if you have your baby in a hospital? You know, please feel free to chime in while I get my coffee. Which one's which? Okay, but the bigger one is the asparagus? Okay. Asparagus. Yes. Asparagus. Asparagus.
It's pretty tasty. It does feel weird, like the tenders in the throat.
What do you mean?
It feels like.
Wait, it's not pea soup.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
But
get some of the ham in it. Tastes fine. It's very asparagus-y.
I was like, as long as it doesn't. Are you telling me it's bad?
No, it's good.
I don't want it. It's bad.
It's good. It's just that weird thing when you look at it and you're like, you're full of peas. And you're like, you're not full of peas. And then you get on with your life. Saying there's that momentary, like, you're lying to me. I'm not lying to you. I'm full of peas. Dog pencils.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Before you have the green sauce.
Oh, hey.
Green salsa.
Salsa. And balsa.
Take apart the blender.
What?
Is the blender still in the sink?
Yeah. But
You know how you tighten things sometimes? Thank you. That's good enough.
Okay.
I tried to untighten it and it was like, no. Honey.
Oh, there goes Steven. I'll mix these. I think it was restaurant.
All right, thank God.
Mm. Yep, and exactly. In a lot of other countries, it costs nothing. Costs you nothing out of pocket to have a child. It will cost you plenty in feeding and clothing the little thing, but like the actual giving birth, the reason that they don't charge you for that is they're like, well, yeah, we need more people, right? All right, so let's see what the quarter. Let's continue with our hatred of the quarter pounder.
I feel like your emotional maturity would be expedited in a society that didn't have such hang-ups
How do
about
I take my coffee? With cream.
sex and gender and shit like that.
Idle rejection of.
But you'd have people like that fall in love and that want to be married, frankly, and also in a society like that, you could make it so that marriage isn't that big of a fucking deal financially, and it's more about like the binding of assets and like lives and love, you know, like making sure that my wife has the right to the house too, kind of shit, but also doesn't have to be this litigious capitalist hellscape because we all have the standards of living we need, you know.
Of promiscuity, rejection of fat acceptance, and so much more. Oh,
you don't want fat acceptance? You're fat.
F it, I'll spill. By this way, this tweet has 110.
Man. The quartering is totally a guy who'd have a t-shirt that says no fat chicks, you know.
1,000 likes. All of my friends still single in their 30s. They're hunting unicorns.
Dude.
What?
That's cool. All her friends? So she knows 3 people in their 30s that are hunting unicorns? She must be everybody. Shut up.
Somewhere along the way, a man stopped just being a man.
Stop. One of the things I hate about this like incel whining is they get real picky. And I always find myself going like, are you picky or are you just fucking making excuses for why you're being a pussy about this? Because if for some horrible reason me and the Countess split up, I would have romantic options. I have romantic options. I wouldn't prefer, I don't prefer that to being in the relationship, but I would have options. And I am not exactly what guys like this would consider like, you know, the alpha male. You know, nice.
Now he's supposed to be your therapist, best friend, passionate lover, future father of the year, financial provider, probably a mind reader too, all wrapped up into one devastatingly handsome package.
I mean, you're just describing me.
That's a good comeback. That was a good comeback, Jake. That was a good comeback. But like, what kind of women are you dealing with? Obviously, none that live outside of your head. Because trust me, if a woman needs a therapist, she'll find one. Thin girls are overrated. I'll just say that. Thin girls are overrated. Not that they can't be just as good a time, but like, man. They're overrated.
Minus the future father of the year stuff. I'm fine. Fat acceptance only applies to women to these chuds because fat men aren't alarming. Only fat women because it makes them less hot for men to enjoy. Does it, though? Because I don't think fat women get less sexually harassed.
Was gay.
But yeah, he's onto something there. Jake's onto something.
Or something.
I don't think they get fewer people. Does it, though? Because I don't think fat women get less sexually harassed.
Was gay or something.
I don't think they get fewer people looking to have sex with them.
What is wrong with salami?
Just depends on how, you know.
Nothing. I love salami.
6 days ago, Jeremy tried to explain why he's been so winded lately. It's the first 20 seconds.
I don't know if many of you have noticed, but I've been a lot more shifty and weird breathy lately. And it's because I'm having near daily anxiety. There's been something going on with my YouTube channel over the past couple of weeks that I have been spending almost every single night trying to figure out.
I'm destroying my channel 6 days ago. Oh my god, dude. They all make the same videos. It's the same life cycle for every single one of these right-wing chuds. I guarantee you there's a video of me somewhere on the internet saying, I bet one day this guy burns the fuck out because this is not sustainable. He doesn't even make real content. No one even fucking likes it.
We grew up on a steady diet of perfect men who could do it all. And now we're shocked.
But I'm not talking about his breathiness. I'm actually talking about how his teeth sound.
Shocked to discover that actual humans come with some flaws.
Like actual...
Well, yeah, but you have to... Okay, bro. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Then your standards for women have to change as well. You dumb fuck. My standards didn't really have to change. Because I zeroed in on the things that I felt that I needed out of a sexual partner. Y'all know the first one. So we don't need to go into that. But it was that. Had to be gothy, freaky, or nerdy. And it had to be into horror movies, science fiction, and or role-playing games. Very simple. My standards were very simple. I kept them simple on purpose. And to me, they were non-negotiable. We didn't have all three of those things. It was going to be a problem. You know, it's got to, you know, got to have the number one, you know, because I got to be sexually attracted. Otherwise, why enter a sexual relationship? When you meet goth girls, you meet them at goth clubs. Goth clubs and metal shows. That's where you meet them. I have an answer for you on that one. Very direct answer. You settle on not being a train wreck? Oh, see, no. Too vague. Too vague. Too vague. You got to actually be honest with what you want. No. Can't skip out on that one. It's a bad idea. You do have to actually have standards. And that bar is just way too low. Because I'm going to tell you right now, on top of that, everyone is some kind of train wreck. Everybody's some kind of train wreck.
Humans come with some flaws. Like, the right side of his mouth, right here, is a little pinched. You see? There's something going on there. Is he good?
Men seem to get this. They prioritize.
Yes. You hear it? It's different.
And put up with a lot more ish overall. Meanwhile,
what? Dude, you are proving the opposite. Now, whatever.
Women are out here with spreadsheets of required qualities, then wonder why they're perpetually disappointed. Now, this isn't all.
Yeah. Guys had the same things. They just make the actual spreadsheet. I will agree that, like, doing that kind of shit is a problem, but guys do it too. They have a list of unreasonable expectations. You go in with a list of unreasonable expectations, you're going to get disappointed. That's why I was like, we got to break this down to the essentials. You know, then again, maybe I was lucky. There were a lot of girls I like made out with that I just didn't really get on with. You know, and so that was sort of like, we've made out or had sex. Now I'm bored. I don't want it to just be this. You know, there's got to be people who are interesting that know how to fuck. And it turns out I was right. Turns out I was very right.
Women, obviously. This is kind of the Instagram, my man needs to make $100,000 a year.
Well, don't get dating advice from Instagram. Let me tell you about that shit about, like, oh, my man needs to make this and blah, 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 blah. That is a fucking, catfish isn't the wrong word, but that is fucking fishing for OnlyFans. That is fishing for OnlyFans accounts. Because the point is that she's actually trying to rope in some dude what got an inferiority fetish. That's what that shit's about. How do you be interesting? Whoa. Well, you gotta know who you are and what your interests are. And how to hold a conversation. Is it the grandma AI now anyway? Well, I don't know about all of it, but, like, you know, there's a lot of it. I mean, I like to think I can tell the difference between an AI woman and a real woman. You know, let's take a cruise. Let's take a cruise down the old Window capture the source. Do you want the source? Fuck you. Get on down onto the Colorado River. I don't know what it does. It just sounded okay. Like, okay, for example, all right. Real woman. This woman's real. Let's see what else we got. All right. This woman's real, but she has a lot of makeup on. Well, not her, but the previous girl. What's the joke here?
My name's Stormy, and this is my first drink of the night.
My name's Madison, and this is my first drink of the night.
My name's Melanie, and this is my first. My name's
Like Stormy G, she's a real woman. She's just wearing a ton of makeup.
Look at this dress. She is absolutely
Real woman, probably a lot of surgery, but
look at
I mean, I don't think those boobs are natural, but like she's real.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
That's a real woman.
sister.
That's a real woman. This is a real woman with surgery. Once again, real. And Stimpy. Ooh, someone making a dinosaur.
The constant.
All right, this one's questionable. This one's questionable. This is a real woman. That's a real woman in a really tight corset. Real woman with a lot of makeup on. Real woman with surgery and makeup and a big wig. Kind of like them. I'm liking that wig, I gotta be honest. Real person. Huh. I would have thought I would have run into an AI one a lot sooner. Cosplay. Real person. Ooh. Real person with a colostomy bag. That's okay. We don't need to see too much of that particular aspect of life. It's a real person. Real person. Let's see a few other pictures. I'd be willing to say it's a real person because like the picture looks real. I mean, there might be some filters going on, but person. Oh wait, is this an SF? No, this is an SF. Or is it? No, it is an SF. Okay. It's hard to tell because I couldn't recognize the bridge with all the fog. Ooh, Granny's dating advice. What'd she say?
Pick one in your price range and shut the fuck up.
You know, if there's one thing that I can say, it's that as we get older, we do get a lot wiser. We have a lot more life experiences and that such. And probably this is the most sound advice for anyone who's dating. Don't go for the 10s all the time. Go for something that's more in your budget. It'll save you a lot of pain in the long run. But Grandma does have an edge on her, which I believe all people that are moving into that time period of their life are going to continue to have. And, well, when we get there, it's going to get much worse. So, kids, do yourself a favor. Get prepared for a lot more honest advice and a little bit less fluffy and cushy advice, because once Gen X gets to that point, it's going to get a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
But we are here to help. I promise. Kinda.
I'm gonna have to agree with him there. Like, I'm already given that level of that type of device.
What are your thoughts on gold diggers?
There's no such thing as a gold digger. All women are expensive, so pick one in your price range and shut the fuck up.
I love Granny. Okay, real woman, but
Probably
a
had
lot
more
of
fun
plastic.
doing this than any.
Hello. I wanted to
Real
show
woman?
you.
Is that Yogi? No, it's not.
If I
President Trump's
Okay, that's VTuber, not. I mean, that might be AI.
efforts to remove.
we know you.
Okay, I'm not actually
But
running
when
into a
I
lot of
make-
AI this time, so let's So let's yeah. Yeah, I'm just not finding any. Just not finding any. Bonk. Beep. You know, so there's a lot less AI than you would think of. There are a lot of filters in makeup, but there's pick one your price range, shut the fuck up, you know? Yeah, mine would be you like each other? Sex good? Shut the fuck up. You know? Shut the fuck up. You've won.
He needs to be cool with my triple-digit body count. All this
triple-digit body count. Did you know, like, the average sexual partners in America is like 4 or something like that?
Well, I'm above average then.
Like, the highest is Turkey with 14 average sexual partners for like a.
No, I think that's still under. I think that'd be like 25 or something. I stopped counting so long ago. Double digit, I'm pretty sure it's in the 20s. But I also said no a lot.
Like a 30-something adult. Like, this idea of hyper promiscuity is just not happening in America. People have.
Oh, no. It happens. It's just rare. It's just rare. Wait, you're 0? I thought. Cat Hermit? I thought. Oh, are you asexual? Because if you're asexual, I don't know if that counts. Because if you're asexual, that kind of becomes apples and oranges.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your population density and shit, but like, and your the availability. But most people have a reasonable amount of sex. Turks fuck. Why do we have to allow that term?
this kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you're if you're asexual, then that's not applicable to this comparison.
Are raised in
yeah, he does sound bad.
Asexual generally means does not seek sexual contact. You know, there are a lot of definitions of asexual, but like the common denominator seems to be does not seek sexual contact. You know, I know for me, it's one of those things that I can understand intellectually, but emotionally, I'm like, man, I'm so not wired that way. By that definition, you are asexual. You do not seek sexual contact either. Because by not seek, I also mean that, like, it's not a thing for you at all. And it's not a thing for you. Nope, you prefer your hand. I'm not going there.
Ooh, closing in on 4 minutes.
How to treat a woman. Women are raised in what to expect from a man.
What?
Think about
Yeah,
that.
men are raised in
Yeah,
what to expect
think
from a
about
woman.
that. No. What the fuck are you talking about? It's pretty obvious that men do not do a good job of that, or there would be fewer complaints.
Has a very different mindset nowadays. When I grew up, it was, hey, open the doors. You know.
The door.
Hey, the door thing. The door thing. Why is everyone fucking up with the door thing? It's 2025. Get over the door. I just opened the door for people. Works out pretty well. I've been friend zoned so long it gave up. Well, sounds like you should. Girl friend zones you, you should give up on that. Should you open a door for a woman? I was told you're supposed to open a door for a woman. That's the door thing. That's the door thing. And I'm just sort of like, I just opened the door for people. If someone is going in right after me, I just hold the door open. I think one of the problems that a lot of these incel guys have is they just don't enjoy flirting. Like, in and of itself. You know, so what did I do whenever a woman complained that I opened the door for her? I let go. If they get hit in the face, okay. You wanted me to not hold the door open, so better be sure to grab it. You know, like, all right. I think that's happened to me like twice in my lifetime where someone complained that I held the door open. And I immediately was like, oh, I don't want to know this person because that's fucking crazy. You don't need to hold the door open for me. Okay. All right. God, do I have to be in fucking line with you? You know, like, that was always my problem when people complained about me opening doors. Oh my God, am I going to have to be in line with this person? I'm not expecting you to do anything but go through the goddamn door. It's not sexual harassment until I start actually doing the sexual harassment. Holding the door open is not sexual harassment. I think we can all agree on that. Oh, yeah, I just assume people aren't going to thank me. I just assume people aren't going to thank me. They don't have to be, because that also relieves me of the responsibility of giving the shit.
Be on top every once in a while. Don't be so lazy. You know,
be on top every once in a while.
I have never had. Okay. The only time.
Don't torture yourself FF with a quarter pounder. Torture yourself with Corey Feldman's new song instead.
I am not doing that. I am not doing that. I am not listening to Corey Feldman's new song. Yeah, for me, it's just a habit to thank people for opening the door for me. Okay, what was I complaining about here?
Hey, open the doors. You know.
The door.
Be on top every once in a while.
Oh, being on top every once in a while. The only fucking time, I mean, like, that's just good partnership. That's just good partnership.
Don't be so lazy. You know,
be on top every once in a while. He means fucking. Yeah.
This kind of stuff. When it was a little more detailed than that, but women are grown up. You need a man who's got a college degree. You need a man who's got a 6-figure salary. You need a man who's going to be a handyman. You need a man who's going to be sensitive and cry at movies. You need a man who says this, and this.
Hey, I got a bunch of those boxes ticked off, man. Maybe they're onto something. I mean, I don't have $1 million. Do you have $1 million? I'll take $1 million. I'd like $1 million. I don't have $1 million. I tick off all the other boxes. So what I'm saying is maybe 4 out of 5 ain't that bad.
And now,
congratulations. He held out over 4 minutes. I can't even believe it. Good for him, dude. I guess now we should see if he's going to do it at all. Will he mention coffee? I think he'll do just fine. He's going to hold out. Come on, Jeremy.
All the women that bought into that have found unending loneliness, and they've resided. They've become resolved. They've accepted their fate of loneliness.
Yeah, well, I mean, if your requirement is that you have to be fucking a millionaire, yeah, you're going to be frustrated. There are only so many of those, okay? And a lot of them have really terrible taste in people. So unless you fit that very, 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 very definition, that very narrow definition of female attractability or attractiveness or, you know, magazine shit, like, you're going to have a hard time. Because a lot of guys who have a lot of money feel like they're entitled to that. You know, so yeah, they're going to be frustrated. That's their problem. That's their problem, brah. I mean, you don't want to be with those women anyway. Although maybe you should, because you probably deserve each other.
Loneliness. She continues. Being an educated woman and making decent money adds more things to the laundry list of expectations. But the underlying problem is the same.
Okay.
Here's another trap. Even the ugliest of women can always find someone willing to sleep with them. Math talks about this all the time.
Math talks about this all the time. Okay. So then isn't this also true of men?
A dating app?
No, actually, to be fair, like, men do have a harder time on dating apps. Like, just period. Unless you're gay. Unless you're gay. Then it flips. Then it changes. If you're gay and you do poorly on a fucking dating app that has gayness, you're not looking for what's being, you're not really looking for what's being offered. You know, I don't know gay guys who have hard times on fucking hookup or dating apps. I only know guys that don't use them. This leads me to believe that guys really love to pitch woo. They really like to tell you that they are sexually attracted to you. A lot of women seem to have a harder time with this. I'll agree. They're a little more guarded. They're a little more guarded. And to be honest, the aggressive way doesn't always work for them. So if they were to switch tactics and be aggressive, that doesn't necessarily work. Because even though they get a lot of like hits on these dating apps, the success rate of even just getting to that date is low in comparison to the volume of options. It's low. And by going on the date, I mean showing up, going somewhere, having the date. Like that's actually a pretty low percentage. Now the numbers will be higher because they have a bigger percentage of options. But the actual percentage of hit to miss, about the same. It's about the same.
At any time, and boom, 10 matches in 10 minutes. Most dating apps are hookup apps. In a trench coat. The pool of truly viable men gets smaller after your late 20s.
No, wrong. First, you got to define a truly viable man. What the fuck is that? A dude who wants to fuck you? A guy who's willing to show up for the date? A guy who's what? What are we talking about? What are we talking about here, Gary? Actually, I don't even know what the quartering's name actually is. Let's keep calling him Gary. You know, you got to find that term, Gary. What the fuck is viable? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I just supposed to assume that whatever I'm doing is good enough? Bullshit. What's the fun in that? If you're not having fun in dating, you're doing it wrong. Jeremy. Okay, Jeremy. Viable male. What fucking viable? What? Has penis? I'm pretty sure most guys has penis. Now, not all guys. That's true. But I mean, 9 times out of 10, right? You know, or at least 99 out of 100. Viable, man. See, that's where misogyny comes with its inherent misandry. Because you're already making a judgment against men who can be successful in that bracket. Oh, because they're not viable. The fuck are you talking about? You're already the low end of the pool. Why the fuck would you make it worse? Already at the low end of the bell curve. Why fucking make yourself feel worse? Why make it feel worse to succeed? Jesus Christ, you fucking assholes. I hate you. It's all about, it's always about upholding the hierarchy. Fuck the hierarchy. Fuck the hierarchy. I want to crack its skull open and fuck it. Yeah, misandry and misogyny go fist in fist. Yeah. It's all connected.
So women see all these matches and they think they're sitting on endless opportunity. The casual fling marketplace and the commitment marketplace run on different fundamentals.
Commitment marketplace? Bruh. What are we complaining about now? What are we complaining about now? We're not complaining about not getting laid anymore. We're not complaining about not getting laid anymore. We're complaining about something else.
Yeah, I treat finding a match in the commitment marketplace as a zero-sum game. Your goal is to win and get out of the pool as quickly as possible, or you're in for a lot of drama.
Why is he's not...
Why are you against... Okay, first of all, I'm sorry. A relationship is drama, you fucking idiot. Jeremy. Relationships are drama. They're dramatic. Shit happens. People are sharing their innermost emotions. It's gonna get dramatic. That's what you want. Yeah, they have to have sex in economic terms. Maybe because you're having sex in economic terms is why you're fucking alone and suck. I mean, apparently he's married, but is he?
Even part of the dating community, but maybe he's entering it because his wife is leaving him. But why is he even on this? Seems like clickbait or something. He's trying to just get in on the Manosphere bucks, trying anything to branch out, trying to latch on to whatever dollar he can get his hands on, his grubby little Pete's.
Again, men have known this for 15 years now. Women are only now figuring it out. If I had to do it all over again, I'd have 2 to 3 non-negotiable values. Deprioritize looks in general, 6 feet, bald, fat, etc., and focus on financial compatibility.
Financial compatibility?
Financial compatibility?
Oh, you sound like you're a ton of fun. None of his kids look like him.
What the fuck is that? We find ourselves financially compatible. What does that mean? One of you has money? Huh?
Be like VCs, venture capitalists, betting on their future potential instead of venture debt providers who look...
What? Whoa. Wow. Okay. Well, we went from hating women to hating the poor. Because, oh, wrong one. We went from hating women to hating men to hating the poor. Just hate all the way down. It's guys like this why I don't play Magic the Gathering anymore.
Look at your current profit and loss.
How's that working out? Like, for real, how's it working out, Jeremy? This like whole thing, you know, the system is fucking rigged. Oh, this is not working for you. Yeah, treat your relationships like venture capitalists. Go in, buy a place, liquidate everything.
How's your Valentine's Day going so far?
Depressing.
Fire everyone. Leave a wake of destruction behind you. Jeremy is looking spent.
I mean, this is exactly correct. This is...
Come on, man.
And when you look at the Wall Street Journal article, you know, her problem is very simple. She's attractive, smart, and highly career ambitious, and wants to marry the same or better. Except her male equal is likely looking for a supportive role, spouse to focus on raising their kids and helping him achieve even more of his goals.
So, that's crazy. Is Amy Nixon actually a man, by the way? Like, is just...
I'd say 50-50. It's like this other thing that they say there are very few marriages with two highly ambitious spouses gunning for big career goals at the same time, especially once kids enter the picture. It happens, but it's rare, and there's a lot of unseen compromise and conflict. Well, I'd say that's true in general.
It's a white man running this account. Why peddle this? The right-wing manosphere mindset thing, like, it makes none of them happy, and then they're just like, yeah, this is how it should work. Huh? None of you are happy, ever. You count being happy as not being divorced yet. You know?
Ooh. Ow. I felt that. I'll say one thing about everyone I know who's gotten a divorce. It's worth it.
Have you ever had, like, just like true...
Yeah, and that's from them. They're like, why are divorces so expensive? Because they're worth it.
Joy in partnership, you know?
There are very few marriages with two highly ambitious spouses gunning for big career goals at the same time, especially once kids enter the picture. It happens, but it's rare, and there are lots of unseen compromise and conflict. Well, this is the you girl bossed too close to the sun. You know,
No, because if you're both focused on career goals, then you're not focused on the relationship. So, of course, it goes to fucking shit. A relationship needs to be maintained. It needs to be maintained. It needs to be tended to constantly. But it's supposed to be a positive spiral. It's supposed to be simple and easy and rewarding to do those things. So you keep wanting to do them. No one dies and says, oh man, I really should have balanced more spreadsheets in my relationship. Like, that doesn't happen.
you took care of yourself.
Who did?
Someone told you the lie when you were 15, your mom probably, who was unhappy in her marriage or was also buying into this third wave feminism.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. As a child of someone who was a white feminist, fuck you. I'm not. My mom was a bitch and a cunt. But not in the way that you're describing. Good Lord.
Unhappy in her marriage, why? Not going to address that at all.
I mean, I can answer that question for me because she was never going to be happy in any relationship. Because whatever was happening was always someone else's fault. You can't have a relationship with that. It's always going to be your fault and you just accept it. That's not a relationship. That's abuse. That's codependency.
Probably her fault she was unhappy, huh?
They told you that.
Well, it was definitely my mom's fault that she was unhappy. I'll say that. But like that could have easily been the other way.
You're getting divorced.
You can have it all.
That's tough.
You can be a girl boss CEO, and you can have a guy boss CEO. Well,
a CEO? You're not going to be CEOs. You're literally all wages. Like even to some degree, like he's trying to be petite bourgeoisie. It's not working out for him because it's prohibitive.
I hope you have a fantastic day.
It's prohibitive to be a small business in this environment. And he's finding out that it's really fucking hard. Remotely Mellow. Thanks for the 37 months.
Hey, Jake's right about that. As a man who's trying to do it, he's right about that. It is very difficult. Because it turns out creating successful businesses is hard. And the biggest barrier that you have is your lack of resources. It is. It is. It's the biggest barrier that you will have. Now, it's not the biggest barrier to success, which is weird. But it is the biggest barrier to your first success. Actually, let me go back on that. If you start out having no resources, your first order of business is to make sure you don't suck. Once you don't suck, your biggest barrier is lack of resources, lack of money. You know, I say resources because there are some resources you can get a hold of that cost no money, but it's still difficult. It's still difficult because people who work for very little are rare. They're rare when you're talking about a startup business. You know, particularly if you didn't want to go the bank loan way. It's particularly hard. And getting a bank loan is no joke either. Because now you're beholden. Now you're beholden to an institution, and that becomes an issue in and of itself. You know, yeah, starting a business is difficult when it should be fairly simple. Yeah, first million's the hardest. Yeah, because after that, you can keep trying. You know?
It's really fucking hard to be a small business now. You have to, like, worry about corporate interests all the time. And they're always trying to, like, suffocate small businesses out.
Every high work drive man that I know, I can only speak to myself.
As a high work drive man, you're not happy. You spend every day only chasing a dollar. It's crazy.
Okay. I have some friends that I consider high drive too. They're looking for the same thing. I have a good friend, Aaron. He runs his own business. I run my own business. Neither one of us give two rips about how much the girl makes. You know, does she take care of my needs? Otherwise, will she fill in the gap? And this is the gap that is equally as valuable.
See, I know what the gap is for me. What's the gap for you? What's the gap for a man like you, Jeremy? Did you want the stripper girlfriend and they all said no? Oh, thanks for the donations. Thanks for the donation, Delta. I will take those $2
Speaking of
and
the
I will put
dollar,
them
here's
with
two
a
of
couple
them.
of other dollars, and hopefully there will be more dollars. Oh, thank you, Delta. May all the material goods of the material world come to you. Hail Satan. Yeah, the Gap, like the clothing store, you know.
Some men get into trouble where they say, "Well, I make all the money." Like when I had my wife retire, I only made the mistake a few times, but I learned pretty quick never to throw money in her face. I learned pretty quick to say it was my money, because that would
Wait, how is that not throwing money in her face?
always lead to a terrible, terrible fight. Rightfully so, because I was still adjusting to what my
the fuck are you talking about,
sounds so shitty.
My mind had already told me I wanted.
I had my wife retire.
I had my wife at home to keep the house clean, to have kids, to...
Oh, God, this guy's going to be an amazingly shitty dad to the children that don't look like him.
Do you guys have kids?
You know, cook dinner, to take care of the pets, so I could make more money. That's what I wanted. Now, if I had...
Are you fucking kidding me? See, this is how my priorities work. I want to make more money so I can make our lives better. So I can make our lives more comfortable, particularly as we get older. That's what I want money for. You know, there's a lot of things we could do with money. Thank God I'm neurodivergent, man. Thank God I just don't think like this. I can't imagine a world in which I did, or a life in which I did. Quite honestly, I don't want to. Yeah, he wants a trad wife. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Just... If you want to fuck a girl who dresses up like a 50s housewife, then just admit you have a fetish and do it that way. Also, this guy can talk. He's got blue collar written all over him. Acting like he's going to be a CEO, like he's going to be rich. Fuck no. It's not going to happen for you, buddy. I'm sorry. I got into the videos game when the getting was good. And I still didn't make a lot. You're coming in now that it's bad. You came in when it was bad. Maybe you're making more than me, but I guarantee you are not making what you would have. And more importantly, fuck you.
Myself
It
with
really sounds like he's airing out his grievances right now.
a woman that wanted the same thing. There would be no...
Dude had his own coffee and apparently it was a failure. Well, yeah. What's job number 1? Don't suck. Don't suck. See, I don't want to run a coffee company, but I wouldn't mind if someone named a coffee after me, if you know what I mean. If there was a Count Jackula coffee that was made by like Coffee Shop of the Damned or something like that, you know, I'd be like, cool. Or Coffee Shop of Horrors. I'd be like, cool. Yeah, no. What's my percentage? Do I get some dollars? I want some dollars. But I would definitely want like a sample of what they planned to make. So I could be like, all right, let's brew this in my house and see how we do this, you know? Do you want me to be a coffee spokesman? I could do that. He is the most interesting coffee man in the world. don't suck at what you're offering. That could be a hard lesson.
Possible way that would have worked out. This is why gender roles exist.
Gender roles don't exist, fucko. You saying that you have to have your wife do these things is such baby shit. It's just so sad. Men used to be men, Jeremy. No, they didn't. They were always looking for mommies. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Every guy's looking for a mommy. Every girl's looking for a daddy, unless they're looking for a mommy or a daddy. You know what I mean? Unless that's just, oh my God, Jackula's coffee made with the devil's rain. Fucking like with the makeup on and shit on the label. Oh, dude, no, that'd be tits.
Be a partner, man. So fucking whack.
Now, if there is a boss, unstoppable woman girl boss who don't need no man, she's going to need a dude who is fine staying at home.
I disagree.
Fine taking care of what she needs to succeed. The problem is those women want both. Men who understand, hey,
maybe some of them, but like, what are you complaining about at this point? This is no longer about getting laid. This is no longer about getting laid. This is just airing out grievances.
I'm going to work 100 hours a week. I'm going to build wealth.
100 hours a week.
Don't work,
brother.
Don't work 100 hours a week. Don't work 100 hours a week. Don't do that to yourself.
And, there's all this other stuff that has to get done. I need someone to do that. They get that. Women.
I just did the dishes today and cleaned the kitchen. You can do it all.
It's cold.
Goppity goop. Thanks, phone.
I've been sold this lie that if you want to be an unstoppable girl boss, slay queen, go ahead. You can also find an unstoppable boy boss.
A boy
those
boss.
Guys don't want anything to do with you. They want some arm candy that's not going to be laying around. Like, look.
What do you mean arm candy? It's not going to be laying around. Laying around is what arm candy does. Laying around is what arm candy does, you dipshit. They're just supposed to do it all sexy. Like, you fucking moron. You buy the arm candy, you dipshit. What, do you think because candy's in the name, they just hand it out at Halloween? Well, I mean, maybe if you do it right, but, like, you can't do it right. The fuck are you talking about? I don't know what fairy tale world he's from, but I'm like, not just laying around. I'm like, arm candy isn't supposed to do anything but be arm candy, dude. That's the deal. That's the unspoken deal. How dumb is you? Oh, all right, let's get through this.
Superficial all you want.
Uh-huh.
That's fine. But my wife knows that the expectation is that she doesn't like lay around and not put makeup on, and that she gets dressed every day and looks nice.
Oh, that's what he means. Look hot for me. Well, are you taking her out? Because the whole purpose of the other purpose of arm candy is to be seen with it. I mean, that does nothing. That doesn't do a lot for me, but I know how it works. I see how it works. I got eyes, don't I? Just talking about women wanting it all, and you're sitting here wanting a woman to be a mother to children, fucking clean your house. Clean your house. Your words, by the way, Jeremy. And make sure she's always done up and attractive. Yeah, that's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of wanting it all, dipshit. Talking about arm candy? Yeah. See, the quartering Jeremy over here was like, you want arm candy, not a woman who lays around. And I'm like, lying around is what arm candy do. Yeah, they're supposed to do it all sexy, but like, you're arm candy is paid for. That's why we call it arm candy. That's why we don't call it the woman you're dating or your girlfriend. Arm candy comes with the understanding that you have that because you have money. That's the meaning of that.
Divorce him. Do you need problems? Or like, do you have problems? Like, I think you need to divorce him. Yeah, it's time to get the fuck out of there. That is ridiculous. For this fucking guy? Brother. When's the last time he's made you come? Like, be real. This is crazy. I can't imagine anyone desiring that lifestyle. Like, she can do better. Ugh.
She knows that. It's not like it sounds kind of creepy saying it out loud.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds kind of creepy when I say it out loud. Yeah, it fucking does, doesn't it? That's fucking weird, isn't it? You uploaded this. You kept this out.
Screw arm candy. You want groupies? See, priorities.
Holy shit. He's definitely going through a divorce arc. It's happening.
That's my expectation. I want my wife to look pretty, okay?
I want my wife to look pretty? Oh, that's tough. I just do think my wife is pretty. It was that easy. She's just pretty. What do you mean? I want her to be. I didn't want any of this. It just happened to me. We just ran into each other. I didn't choose this. She's just cute. With or without me viewing her.
And if she's at work all day and this and the other, like
the GHIJKLMNOP, he's missed all the alphabet.
It's just things that you want are not the same. Men knew this. Men knew
this. What are you talking about? Nobody understands this. This is a thing that is a chronic problem for everybody. This is what I say by like the thing that's always frustrating is some of these guys are like half right, but they're right in the wrong way. But there's no moment of clarity that can come in that doesn't get fucked up when it reaches their mouth. You assume he thinks there is even is a G spot. Well, I have been told by rumor that not all women do have a G spot, but most do. came out with bags of coffee themed around the game. Oh, that would be cool. I don't think I could swing that, but that would be cool. Gonna be fucking splitting rent on a divorced dad pad with Steven Crowder. Oh, man, I can smell that apartment from here.
Some men want a good wife. There are
a good wife.
Gender roles.
There are not gender roles. There are not gender roles. That is a crazy thing.
I would debate that. I think it would be more correct to say that society has gender expectations. You know, and those are a thing. You know, they're not like a hardwired biological thing, but they are a thing, you know.
To say, there are just tasks in a household that are done. Like, that's it.
Oh, well, if we're talking about like that, those kind of gender roles, yeah, that's complete horseshit. You know, like having to divide up the labor in a specific way, yeah, that's horseshit.
If you were single, you would be doing the gender roles of the woman, I guess, right? What's a good wife even mean? In my opinion, it's just a good partner.
And this is something that third wave feminism has been pushing, is that there aren't gender roles. In fact,
third wave feminism, are we only on the third wave of this thing? I don't know. I feel like we're past this.
Isn't even real. And all these women's uteruses are going to be elephants' graveyards.
Oh no, not their uterus.
What? Oh my God. Birth rates went down during the Trump administration. Because that guy is so odious. And so many guys were so, yeah, pro-Trump, that they didn't want to have children with those men anymore. Plus, Donald Trump dries up vaginas like a hairdryer. Women have more sex when they have wider financial options. They're just not fucking these guys. And unfortunately, these guys have fucking convinced much younger guys who haven't even really had the opportunity to enter the world where they're just entering the world where getting laid is a thing. And they're listening to this shit. Can you make the connection? Women do not like you, Jeremy, or the men that listen to you. Okay? If you're worried about a declining birth rate or a dusty vagina, don't. Not your horses to take care of. So let go of that. And I know that you're stuck in a patriarchal fucking bullshit fucking mindset. But let it go. You know, you got to control everything. You got to tell men how to be men. Motherfucker, look at yourself. You ain't a man yourself. You are a nerd who hates women that plays Magic the Gathering so bad you were barred from tournaments. You were too odious for the Magic the Gathering crowd. Okay? You were the last person anyone should be taking advice from. Well, maybe fucking Jeffrey Dahmer, but that guy's dead now. This man was too much of a loud, obnoxious nerd to be in Magic the Gathering tournaments. He was thrown out. He was permanently barred by Wizards of the Coast from attending any official Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the Coast anything. All because of the shit he would pull while at those fucking events. You are the worst form of nerd. You are the lowest form of nerd. The only ones lower is people who are listening to you. So my message to anyone who listens to this idiot or guys like him, that being Jeremy, is to stop. Stop listening to him. Do something else with your life. Do something else with your free time. Read a book. Hell, watch porno. I'm betting that there is a good literal masturbatory experience you could be having that'd be better than listening to these guys. Yeah. He got punched in the head at a Gen Con once and no one saw anything. Now, did no one really say anything? No, I guarantee someone knew the guy that punched him. But they were just like, oh, we didn't see shit. Because this is a guy at a bar where nobody wants him around. Because even if you're not looking to get laid, you do not want to be standing next to pussy repellent. I guarantee he was drunk, being himself, and everyone around it was within earshot of his voice was just like, somebody make this guy leave. Somebody make this fucking guy go away. Like, just please. And then somebody did. A hero. A man or a woman stood up. And for all that is good and decent humanity, clenched their fist and clocked him in the back of the head. A fist for justice. A fist for what's right and decent in this world. And that man, we assume man, but it could be a woman, but that shadowy hero shall be ever known as the douche puncher. Douche puncher, we salute you. I'm going to get myself another coffee. Oh, man.
No, the Utes. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm looking at the ladies. Like, hey, yeah, how's your uterus? Mm.
Oh,
if I was gay or something.
An elephant's graveyard. Nice. Love a good elephant Ute. Sometimes when creating a character, I roll a dice for gender. Therefore, there are gender roles. I'm gonna have to ask you to roll yourself some fucking psychic damage. Is touching gross stuff like dish sink scraps or vacuum contents a gender role? Apparently, they're a Jake gender role. If you're Jake gendered, you do both of those things regularly. Chat, roll a wisdom save. I'm going to roll a wisdom save as well. 14 plus 6, obviously, wisdom, because I'm so wise, so I pass.
And they're going to be sad and alone. And the men that they could have found love with, men who are perhaps more family orientated or home orientated or project orientated, they've already settled for somebody else.
Jesus, do you have to be such an asshole about everything? Oh, they've already settled for something else. Dude, you're talking down to the people you're talking to. But I guess they like that. Yeah, Daddy Jeremy, spit some more truths.
Sounds like your system's working great. Yeah, they probably already settled with other people, so... Cool, brother. So anyway, on the other side of this, on the other side of the political platform, all the way to the left with guys like me, you could just be yourself and find someone that that is also themselves around you, and then you can just like hang out and spend time together. You can just be cool and amenable to other people's lives. Like that doesn't mean you have to do so without any sort of like introspection or work or change or anything. Like, you know, we're all complex people. Maybe you have bad habits, or maybe you're not a good guy. Maybe your expectation that your wife has to look a certain way every day, or else like you're not going to pay the bills or something. I don't know. It's weird.
They want an unstoppable boy boss.
I am an unstoppable boy boss. Go boys. Yeah, the boys. Ugh. I feel powerful. Do you feel powerful, the boys?
After a handful of underwhelming relationships and dozens of disappointing first dates, Andrea...
I bet he would be mad if she looked good and went out every day, though. He was pissed when she ate pizza without him. He pissed in the basement by himself and had a crash out. She probably hasn't left without him since because it was a huge fight. She's probably trapped in the fucking house because she doesn't have financial independence without him now. She's probably regretting retiring. He calls it retiring so he can trap her because he knows that he's not good enough. She's in the Crowder situation. Oh, yeah.
Recently called off the search for a husband. The 29-year-old always thought she'd have found her life partner by now. Instead, she's house hunting solo and considering having kids on her own. That's sad.
Is it?
I'm financially self-sufficient enough to do these things myself, said Andrea, a Boston-based accountant. I'm willing to accept being single versus settling for someone who isn't the right fit.
I agree.
That is a you problem, lady.
It's not really a you problem.
Okay.
It's more like a thing that she's saying that she wants. I don't want to say... Like if you keep reading this, I don't think this sounds bad.
You have this ridiculous expectation of what
It's
a man...
not.
You have deluded yourself into thinking...
Why do you think that there is a delusion here?
Happy.
She hasn't even described what
She
you're
sees
talking
her
about.
plans for an independent future as making the best of a lousy situation. Girl, you're 29. You have tons of time to find a guy. You don't want a guy that's been divorced. You don't want a guy that has a kid. You don't want a guy... That's your choice. You could find a man. She says, but I feel...
You say the same... You're projecting. That's what you guys say about women all the time. It's just projection, man. No one gives a fuck. Real normal people are just like, if they're attracted to somebody, they'll be attracted to them. That's just what it is.
I feel happier just accepting my reality. I don't want to sit here and say I'm 100% happy, but I've accepted it. It's mentally and emotionally a sense of peace. This is what you'll live in a pod, you'll eat the bugs, and you'll be happy people wanted.
It actually sounds like this Boston-based accountant is what she wanted. I'm not for capitalism. I don't think accountants are even a reasonable position that we need. At least not for this. Maybe we can have accountants for other shit. But this is just like for personal wealth growth, which is really dumb.
This is what they wanted, and they've turned her into their prototypical person.
Who's they? What are you talking about?
Some of the numbers that are shocking. A 2022 Pew survey of single adults showed only 34% of single women were even looking for romance, compared to 54% of single men, down from 38 and 61. So even more people are checking out of the dating market.
Okay.
The share of women, listen to this, the share of women aged 18 to 40 who are single, that is neither married nor living with a boyfriend, was 50.
Nor living with their boyfriend? Or cohabitating with a partner? Why is he gotta say boyfriend? What the fuck?
51.4% in 2023. 51%. Call it 52. The same data in just 20 years before was at 41.8%.
Yeah, so, and you don't see any correlation with, like, the proliferation of far right-wing politics or anything. All those guys are single. You're going to see, I guarantee you what you're going to see, a lot of single liberals and a lot of single right-wingers.
10 basis points, or almost a 15% increase in people who just are single and resided to dying alone. In 2023, Pew Research Survey Center, of 5,000 adults, 48% of women said that being married was not too far or not too
Jeremy.
at all important for a fulfilling life. They're wrong.
They're wrong. It is important. You have to be married. You have to. They're wrong. When they're saying that it's not important to them, I don't know why you're like, yeah, it is. What a fucking weirdo.
Compared with 39% of men. So more men want to get married than these women. Up from 31 and 28% in 2029.
I can't believe
I'm
it.
smart when I drink.
I'm so shocked that women are saying, I'd rather not marry a man. They're telling you what the problem is, and you're like, no. Okay. More for the rest of us, I guess. Popcorn to someone else. I beg of you, Jeremy. Popcorn to someone else. What does that mean? Then marry each other? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Maybe the men should start marrying each other. A bunch of right-wing men married together? Not gay, of course.
Our society is checking out. They're checking out of the dating pool, and this is exactly what third wave feminism did. Most of us saw it, and it's so sad to see. I hope you're informed by this video. I hope these women and men...
You hope you're informed by this video? I'm informed that you're going through a divorce now and having daily panic attacks due to the decisions you've made.
We'll stop taking the black pill and we'll get back in the dating pool and start being more reasonable and realistic about what it takes to find happiness.
But you're not happy. What the fuck? The only happy people I ever see are leftists. And really, that's just like in interpersonal relationships. And even then, it's a crapshoot, right? Still gotta, like, navigate the world and shit. He's not taking his own advice. I just never see a happy couple when they're right-wing. They can stay married, for sure.
Yeah.
There's lots of old couples that don't even fucking like each other. That just, would be scared to navigate the world without each other. I guess he'll find out. His own way.
Yeah, that's probably it.
How hard it is for a guy like him in the dating pool. Women don't like right-wing men. If you are an incel and you want to stop being one, I can help. I can help. TLDR, it's probably your fault, but it's not also. It's probably also the men in your life, or the way that you were, or maybe not even the men in your life, the way that you were taught to be a man is wrong.
Oh my God. That is... I don't even know what that is. I got nothing. What I have already given. I have already given. I have already given my wisdom. I found an AI. I found an AI. That's an AI. I found one. I did it. There's some AI bullshit. Found it on Instagram. We found one, people. We beat the game. Whoa, what was that? It's like we find more.
I can't decide what intimidates me more.
You know what? Quarter would say, "Oh, this girl's too fat. She has nice tits, but she's too fat." Ugh. Whatever, dude. God. Oh, it's AI girl again. It's the same AI girl. Jesus. Yeah, it took long enough. Whew. Well. I think it's about time for me to take off. Oh, but not before I show you this. This is cool. Candymans in different art styles. Good night, everybody.